Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What's up, my YouTube family? I'm working on a mandala. I've really been enjoying mandala coloring books lately. Here are some that I've done. So beautiful. This one. Actually, it was this one that I drew, or I colored, I mean, about 6 months ago. And the night that I drew it, I went into such a trance that I've never come back from. And actually, I was sitting in front of my shrine right before bed. So I had drawn this, okay, put it away for the night. And I went to my room. It was about 9 p.m. I usually go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. I'm an early riser. I wake up between 5 and 6 a.m. And I wasn't even meditating. I was just sitting there like this. But I was so relaxed. I think because I was drinking my tea, Blue Lotus tea, I think it was, so already kind of lucid. And then I'm drawing and coloring these mandalas and going deeper and deeper into them. Now, I put my head on the ground because I was so relaxed. I put my forehead on the ground. And as I did, I lost body awareness. The body awareness was no longer there. I had never experienced anything like that, and I thought it was so beautiful. But what happened next was even more surreal because I don't see in my normal day-to-day perception of existence, I don't see visuals when I close my eyes. I can even close my eyes and you say, Frank, visualize an apple or your mother or whatever. And I understand the concept of an apple. I can understand when I close my eyes the concept of my mom. You know, I know she has red hair. I know she's tall. I know her certain facial features, but I actually can't visualize it. And I thought everybody was like that. I didn't know that other people can visualize. And it was really a surreal moment when I found out. So in this moment, when I put my head on the ground and lost body awareness, suddenly I started to see fractals that kind of looked like a kaleidoscope. And I went deeper and deeper and deeper, and actually very similar to this center, very similar to, where is it? To this, actually it looked a lot like this. The colors were very pink and yellow and orange and citrusy, but the very center I remember was red. And I went deeper and deeper and deeper into it. It was like a reddish pink. And I went deeper and deeper into it. I felt like I was going through a portal. And all of a sudden, I hear the voice. Hello, my son. Even though it was a beautiful, welcoming, godlike, the totality of consciousness sounding voice, it frightened me. The ego was terrified in that moment. And I don't know that it would be today, but it was then. And I went, ah! I screamed so loud, not even like what I just did. It was a loud scream. And suddenly I was on my bed within a split second. So think about it. I'm like on the floor. I got so scared that I went, ah! And I jumped up and wound up on my bed. For the next hour, 30 minutes to an hour, I'm walking around my place, the kitchen, the dining room, the living room. And I said, what do I do now? What do I do? After having that experience. And the voice said, do nothing. Do nothing. And that was the beginning of everything for me. I've been on the spiritual path for 20 years in this lifetime, even though reincarnation, heaven, hell, all that is a concept anyway for what you really are. But from my experience in this life, I've been on that path for about 20 years, like in a serious way. But really everything began from that moment 6 months ago. And as I was walking around my place, everything had a bluish purple hue around it. And I couldn't unsee it. And since then, I get flashes of blue and purple light. Now, I say this really for your sake, not mine, because I've gotten to the point now where if it's an experience, then it's not real. Because who is the one experiencing, right? It's God, the totality of everything, experiencing itself as the totality. The only thing that can be said that is spiritual is self-realization. The highest form of worship is to worship the Guru. The Guru that is within. The Guru, in its absolute grace, will manifest in our lives as Neem Karoli Baba, as Jesus Christ, as Buddha, as Sadguru, as Maharaj, as Osho. But that's just for us. The Guru does not need to be in a body. In fact, the Guru is not at all the body. The Guru is birthless and deathless and reminds you that you are as well. And that's why they say when you're ready, the Guru appears. Because when you worship within you, the Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, the Guru appears to teach you in a way that you can comprehend the Guru and that you can see the Guru. But the highest form of worship is to say, I am Brahma, I am Brahman, I am the totality. And then when you know that, there's the further step, which is a very rare one will ask, from where did this consciousness, this totality of everything, from where did it arise? I've been asking that question since I was 7 years old. I would hear people talk about God, 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 and I would sit and I would ask, well, and I'd be 7 years old, literally sitting in my room by myself, and I would say, well, but who gave rise to God? If there was nothing, no color, no odor, changeless, formless, no history, then from where did this consciousness arise? And it was by the grace of the Guru, specifically Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who said with such conviction, you are not the body, you are not the mind, find out who you are. And I believed him. I believed him. I had heard, you've heard. If you're a spiritual, if you're in this world, you've heard, and you might have said and repeated so many times in your life, I am not the body, I am not the mind. But when he said it for some reason, with such conviction, I believed him and could not shake for the life of me this belief, this feeling, this knowing, this understanding, this knowledge, this wisdom, this truth, that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the one having the experience. In this life, there has been many experiences. In fact, I have lived a storied life. But I know now that I have not lived that life. It is not me. I am not the body. I'm not the mind. I am not a single experience that has been witnessed in this life. I am the space in which it appears. How many times have you heard that you are not a drop in the ocean, but the ocean itself? It's such a common teaching among spiritual teachers. But think about what that means. You are not the drop, you are the ocean. In other words, we look at astrology, we're looking at the stars, but you are prior to them. Those things appear in you. But if you listen to me speaking right now, and you think that I'm speaking to you as the person, as the human, you will think, as you meditate, as you sit with your eyes closed, oh, the whole universe is within me, within Firas, within Frank, within Sarah, Natasha, Andrew, whoever. But no, 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 no. It's actually that all of those things appear within what you really are. Pure awareness. Find out who that is. Who were you 100 years ago? But if you can get to an answer, you need to keep going. It's not true. If you can name it, it's not you. So who are you? And these are the kinds of things that we discuss every week. In my weekly Sunday call, if you're not aware, I have a program called Awaken the Healer Within. In fact, I'm recording this on a Saturday, but I'll be posting it on a Sunday. In fact, I should let you know, I'm starting to do this every Sunday, so if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It'll be sort of like, if you're too busy or if you're in search of the real knowledge that's out there, this will be your coming home every Sunday. And I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you can be here for the satsang every Sunday, the getting together in truth. And then we also have every Sunday, I have a call at 1 p.m. Pacific time with my Awaken the Healer Within course and community. I went from being a 4-time Emmy-winning journalist at Good Morning America and ABC News to then becoming an energy healer, like massively different, right? And I realized from all the clients that I work with that there are so many people out there who are like, I'm a healer, I think I'm a healer, I'm an energy worker, I'm an astrologer, I'm a breathwork instructor, I'm a pranic healer, whatever it is, but they don't know how to start a business. They don't know how to start a brand. And that's what my course is. We're walking people through the path that I took to leave ABC News, become an energy healer, and still make 6 figures comfortably on my own time and at my own pace. And so I teach other people. I mentor other healers. And this online course and program is absolutely incredible. I'll link it in the description below in case anybody wants to join. But, excuse me while I sharpen this pencil. Okay. But, you know, it's been absolutely remarkable in the past 6 months, really since my awakening. I started this course a few weeks after. It just happened to align that way where we were ready to launch by the time that entire experience happened. And it's just all consciousness at play. Consciousness is just doing everything. And that's why the name of this video is Do Nothing. Because in that moment, I sat here on the couch and I said, Spirit, what do I do now? You know, I'm claircognizant. That's how I do my energy work. And I said, Spirit, what do I do? How do I live life again? How do I go into the world? How do I be on podcasts? How do I speak to people when I know that I'm nothing, that I'm prior to this dream? And Spirit said, do nothing. Now that doesn't mean that you just sit there and stare at the wall. Continue your work, continue your household duties, you do it all. But 2 things. 1, you do it from the understanding that you remember the words of the Guru, I am not the body, I am not the mind, and I am not the doer. Everything is just happening spontaneously, and I'm the one witnessing. The body is vegetation. It's like no different from crops. Your basil and your strawberry leaf trees outside, and your lemon trees and your lime and everything you're growing is vegetation, and so is the body. And so there's a need for survival in that body, and it will do it. Don't worry. It's going to make sure that you get fed and that you're continuing to do everything. But just know that it's not you that's doing it. Remember at all times the word of the Guru. I am not the body. I am not the mind. Find out who and what you are. You know, everybody's so concerned these days. I get messages all the time. Is Elon Musk a Palladian? Is Elon Musk good or evil? Forget who Elon Musk is. Who are you? When you know yourself, you know everything. You can solve every problem in the world, every problem that you have, and there will still be the matter of realization, of realizing the self. But vice versa, the contrast to that is that you can know thyself and all the other problems go away. It's the one that solves the rest. Because we're so desperate to hold on to identity and who we are and what we are and the story that we have withheld. But all of that is entertainment. Whether somebody's a Palladian or, the fight versus good and evil, all of that is entertainment. It's a story and people love entertainment. But where is all of that taking place? It's all taking place within you. Not you, the person. You who are listening to this right now. Who is the one hearing this? Find that one. Find the one that's hearing me speak right now. Who is the one listening? If you listen closely, you know it's not the body. It's not the ears. It's not the mind. Who is listening right now? And I can't tell you that. That's why I keep asking, because you need to find out who you are. And when you watch the mind and you watch it like a thief, watch it like a thief, the mind starts to unravel in a good way, because you don't dissolve the mind by fighting it. That makes it defensive. That makes it want to protect its nature. But when it realizes, and when you realize that it is unnecessary, that the ego is unnecessary on its own, it gets quieter. It gets quieter and quieter and quieter. And then consciousness starts to reveal itself in your life. It's not the body or mind that's seeking liberation. And that's the trap, right? We meditate because we think, you meditate because you think that you, the body, are seeking enlightenment or liberation. The body will be dead in 100 years, if you're lucky. It will disintegrate, it'll be ash. It is not the body that attains liberation. It is the self, it is the consciousness that attains liberation. It is the consciousness that is seeking to be liberated. So when the consciousness observes itself and becomes aware of itself, liberation happens. Please pay attention to that, because it's really important. When you're sitting there meditating, ask, who is it right now that is seeking liberation? It's not the body. The body is not seeking liberation. The body is seeking survival. The body is seeking to continue. But what animates the body? What animates the body is prana. So find out who you are while you still have prana animating the body. It's a beautiful advantage that you have, that prana is animating your body, that this life force is what prana is, that this life force is the thing animating your body. And while it's there, you can know yourself. Don't wait until your deathbed, because on your deathbed, whatever final concept you have, which is like heaven, Jesus will appear and take you to the clouds and into heaven, or if you believe in reincarnation, then that is what will happen. You will experience that. That will be your experience. But every experience eventually needs to be transcended, even if you're in heaven. Even if you are in heaven, you need to self-realize eventually. This is a miserable existence. Even though it's beautiful, it's miserable. There's a constant need for survival. There's constant attack and vengeance and whatever else. Even the most beautiful thing in this world, because if you're watching this and saying, but Firas, but Frank, there's love in this world. But what comes with love? Within love, within the seed of love, there's also the seed of grief. Because eventually there's a loss of that love because of death, because of separation, because of abandonment, whatever form, but eventually there's grief with that love. And it's okay to have the experience, but not to believe that you are the experience. No, you're the place in which the experience arises. So when I had the do nothing memo from Spirit, my higher self, from Guru, I was like, okay, do nothing. Why? And Spirit said, because when you make plans and when you plan your life, it's an attack against God. It's an attack against consciousness, the totality, because you're saying, as the body, you know what's best for you. You know how to manage things rather than giving it up to Spirit, which has been doing it all along anyway. The mind is just getting in the way and adding commentary and interfering with everything. And so the next day, after that experience, I got a call from a publisher, Storyteller Publishing, which is an imprint of Macmillan, one of the biggest publishers in America. And they said, hey, that book that you wrote, that novel that you wrote 6 years ago, by the way, did you ever do anything with it? And I said, no, I never published it. I never got representation for it. I just kind of put it on a shelf and forgot about it. And they said, we'd like to publish it. We'd like to publish it, and we'd also like to pitch it and sell it as a TV show. That was 6 months ago. I did nothing. I didn't seek. I didn't go out and get an agent. I didn't pitch this book to anybody. And now it's getting published and distributed by one of the biggest publishers in the country, in the world. And the interesting thing about it is that it comes out next month in February. It's all happening so fast and way better and more effortless than I could possibly have planned it with my little thinking brain. And another thing happened. In fact, it happened yesterday. I was on a podcast that was the #1 podcast in the world, surpassing even the greats like Joe Rogan and, This American Life and all these massive podcasts out there in the field. And it's called Telepathy Tapes. You might have heard of it. I'm sure you have. I'm sure a lot of you have. Now, I reached out to Telepathy Tapes a year ago and asked if the host and creator of the show, Kai Dickens, would come on my podcast. And I never heard back, or I think I heard back and they said she was busy or something. And a year later, after that experience, I get a call from them asking me to come on their show. And so it's just a lesson that Spirit can create so much better than you can. And in fact, you don't create. You're just watching what is happening. Right, Sebastian? Let's turn off this filter. Right, Sibo? Do 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 do. Check it out, guys. This is where I'm at now with this. Ooh. Go into a trance with me. So yeah, that's basically, the fruit of it. And I want you to know that when you surrender and truly surrender and you watch the mind like a thief, watch it. And it is a thief. It's a thief. It's stealing your happiness with intrusive thoughts. It's generating emotions. But who is experiencing these emotions? Desire, for example. Desire is there. Desire appears and it disappears, and you just watch it. Instead of saying, I desire. I want this. I want that. Because since that experience that I had, I'll tell you, I look at the biggest teachers in the world. Anybody, you name them. You name them. They're selling. I don't want to name them because it's not my place to do that right now. But the biggest spiritual teachers in the world who are selling out stadiums. And I'm not talking about the awakened gurus. I'm talking about the meditation teachers. You know who they are. I used to look at them and say, wow, that's so cool. They're doing amazing things. And in a way they are, because they're at least getting people to think in a different way, to realize that you are not the body, you're not the mind, but it's still rooted in ignorance. And now I can't unsee it. The second I see ignorance, I name it. That is ignorance disguising itself as knowledge. And they're selling out millions in these stadiums. And you know, that's why people keep going back, keep going back, keep going back. I'm telling you, there is no need for sadhana, for practice, for meditation, anything right now, if you are always fixated on the truth that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the totality of existence. All of this is taking place within me. And from that space, then, there's no need for a practice, because who's the one sitting there meditating? And if you do sit and meditate, meditate on I am. What did God say when he appeared to Moses? He said, I am that I am. But what is I am? I am is the thought, I exist. I am. But prior to that was you. Because with the I am thought, with the I am principle, the entire world appeared. Space, which contains the world, appeared. You are prior to both of those. Find out what you are. Find out what you are. All of this is taking place within you. Not within you, the person. You, the pure consciousness in which all things arose. And prior to that, the pure awareness from which consciousness arose. In your perfect natural state, you don't even know that you are. You don't even know that you exist. And that can be a really frightening and disorienting thing to hear. But to me, it was a very liberating thing. And it's a very rare person. It's a rare one, a rare being that will even ask, who am I? 1 in a million will ask, who am I? 1 in 10 million will find out. I need to sharpen again. You go with your friends, let's go to Bali, I'm going to go to Bali and date a white girl with dreadlocks. I'm spiritual. I'm going to go to India and I'm going to renounce everything. Who is it that thinks they're renouncing? If the body renounces everything, all it's done, and the ego is so brilliant, the ego is genius. In order to survive, and the ego, when I say ego, is just body identification. It's the false part that identifies as the body. And what the ego will do when it realizes it's starting to lose its grip on you, on consciousness, what it does is then creates a new identity for you, a spiritual identity. And that is the greatest trap. I would rather have a conversation with somebody who's completely ignorant than have a conversation with somebody who believes that they are, I am such a spiritual person. I am an energy healer. I am a renunciant. I have given everything up. Who has given everything up? Keep asking, who? There are owls here too, by the way, in my neighborhood. I absolutely love it. I guess my final thought here is that you find yourself now, if you're watching this, you find yourself in a human body, in a human form. Ask yourself, how did that come about? At what point did my conscious awareness begin in this lifetime and start building the story of even past lives? I was this in a past life, and that's why I'm doing this in this life and that. All of that is bondage. Who is the one in bondage is consciousness. And it is consciousness that is seeking to be liberated. So make sure that you're subscribing every Sunday. Subscribing now so that you can catch this every Sunday. You are the dreamer of the world of dreams. No other cause has nor ever will. Nothing more fearful than an idle dream has terrified God's Son and made him think that he has lost his innocence, denied his Father, and made war upon himself. So fearful is the dream, so seeming real, he could not wake into reality without the sweat of terror and a scream of mortal fear, unless a gentler dream preceded his awakening and allowed his calmer mind to welcome, not fear, the voice that calls with love to waken him. That is the Guru. That is the voice that I heard within that said, hello, my son. Thus are you not the dreamer, but the dream. Thus you are not the dreamer, but the dream itself. And so you wander idly in and out of places, and even that it contrives. That this is all the body does is true, for it is but a figure in a dream. But who reacts to figures in a dream unless he sees them as if they were real? The instant that he sees them as they are, they have no more effects on him, because he understands he gave them their effects by causing them and making them seem real.